Keeping weeds under control can feel like an endless battle, but what if your plants could do the hard work for you? By choosing the right ground covers, you can create a natural living mulch that blocks sunlight, shades the soil, and stops weeds before they even sprout. The best part? These plants don't just fight weeds, they also add beauty, texture, and year-round interest to your garden. In this video, we'll explore 7 powerful, non-invasive plants that transform your beds and borders into weed-free, low-maintenance landscapes. Let's start with a fragrant ground cover that works as hard as it looks beautiful. Creeping thyme. This tough little plant forms a dense, low mat of foliage that naturally smothers weeds while releasing a subtle herbal scent when brushed against. Its tiny purple flowers appear in summer, drawing bees and butterflies, and giving you both beauty and biodiversity in one simple package. Creeping thyme thrives in full sun and well-drained soil, making it perfect for rock gardens, pathways, or open spaces where other plants might struggle. Once established, it tolerates drought well and asks for little care, which makes it a dream for low-maintenance gardeners. To keep it healthy, occasional trimming after flowering helps maintain a neat shape and encourages thicker growth. The plant is non-invasive and spreads just enough to cover soil without becoming aggressive. In the landscape, creeping thyme is ideal for filling gaps between stepping stones, covering dry slopes, or creating living carpets in borders. It's a ground cover that not only stops weeds in their tracks, but also adds fragrance, flowers, and texture to your garden design. Next up is a shade-loving ground cover that brings both beauty and utility, sweet woodruff. This charming plant forms a soft carpet of star-shaped leaves topped with clusters of tiny white flowers in spring. As it fills in, it creates a dense mat that prevents weeds from sprouting while adding elegance to shaded corners of the garden. Sweet woodruff thrives in partial to full shade and prefers moist, rich soil. It spreads gently without being invasive, making it an excellent choice for underplanting around shrubs, trees, or in woodland-style beds. Once established, it requires little maintenance aside from occasional watering in dry spells. To care for it, simply trim back after flowering to keep the foliage fresh and encourage new growth. It's a resilient plant that rarely suffers from pests or diseases. In the landscape, sweet woodruff is perfect for brightening up shaded pathways, covering the ground beneath taller plants, or softening the edges of borders. Its ability to suppress weeds while staying graceful makes it a go-to ground cover for shady gardens. Another excellent option for weed control is mazes, a small but mighty ground cover. This low-growing perennial spreads quickly to form a dense mat, staying just a few inches tall while blocking weeds completely. In late spring to summer, it produces cheerful purple or white flowers that add pops of color to the garden floor. Mazes thrives in full sun to partial shade and prefers moist but well-drained soil. It's durable enough to handle light foot traffic, which makes it an ideal filler for spaces between stepping stones, patios, and garden paths. Once established, it spreads reliably without becoming invasive. Caring for mazes is easy. Regular watering in hot weather keeps it lush, and trimming can help shape its spread. It's tough, low maintenance, and bounces back quickly even if stepped on. In the landscape, mazes works wonders in small gardens, rockeries, and pathways. Its colorful blooms, dense foliage, and weed-suppressing ability make it both functional and ornamental. For a truly tough yet elegant weed stopper, look no further than Diamondia. Also known as silver carpet, this drought-tolerant ground cover forms a tight silvery green mat that chokes out weeds while adding a unique texture to the garden. Tiny yellow daisy-like flowers appear in summer, adding seasonal interest without overwhelming the subtle foliage. Diamondia thrives in full sun and well-drained soil, particularly in hot, dry climates where other ground covers may struggle. It's slow to establish, but once rooted, becomes an incredibly resilient, low-maintenance plant that can handle even moderate foot traffic. To maintain it, water occasionally during long dry spells and trim lightly if it starts to thin in spots. It's non-invasive and stays neatly in place, making it perfect for controlled designs. In the landscape, Diamondia is excellent for sunny pathways, rock gardens, and curbside strips. Its silvery leaves create a striking contrast against greener plants, all while keeping weeds completely at bay. Let's move on to a native grass-like ground cover that's both graceful and practical, Pennsylvania sedge. This fine-textured sedge forms soft clumps that spread slowly to create a natural-looking carpet. Unlike traditional turf, it needs little knowing and quickly shades out weeds, making it an eco-friendly alternative to grass in shady or woodland gardens. Pennsylvania sedge thrives in partial to full shade and prefers moist, well-drained soil, though it can tolerate drier conditions once established. As a U.S. native, it's perfectly adapted to local climates and requires minimal inputs to stay healthy. Maintenance is simple. An occasional trim in early spring refreshes the foliage, and supplemental watering helps during drought. It's highly resistant to pests and diseases, keeping care to a minimum. In the landscape, Pennsylvania sedge works beautifully under trees, along shaded paths, or as a lawn substitute in low-traffic areas. Its soft texture and natural look make it an elegant, low-maintenance way to keep weeds in check. Next is a sun-loving succulent ground cover that thrives where little else will, Sedum angelina. With needle-like golden foliage that shifts to orange and red in cooler months, this sedum adds year-round color while forming a dense mat that smothers weeds. It even produces small yellow flowers in summer, adding to its charm. Sedum angelina thrives in full sun and poor, well-drained soils, where other plants might struggle. It's drought-tolerant and extremely hardy, making it perfect for hot, dry spots, rock gardens, or slopes prone to erosion. Caring for sedum is effortless. Occasional watering in extreme heat and trimming to shape is usually all it needs. It spreads moderately but stays tidy and non-invasive, offering reliable coverage without taking over. In the landscape, Sedum angelina is ideal for rock gardens, retaining walls, or as a sunny ground cover that keeps weeds away. Its vivid foliage brings brightness and texture to any design. And finally, let's finish with a unique native ground cover that thrives in the shade, wild ginger. This plant forms broad, heart-shaped leaves that spread into a dense mat, shading the soil so thoroughly that weeds have no chance to establish. While its flowers are hidden near the base, the bold foliage is more than enough to make it a standout. Wild ginger prefers partial to full shade and moist, rich soil. It spreads slowly but steadily, forming colonies that stay neat and manageable, making it a reliable, non-invasive choice for shady gardens. Care is minimal. Mulching helps retain soil moisture, and occasional watering in dry weather will keep it lush. It rarely suffers from pests or diseases, so once established, it's nearly carefree.
In the landscape, wild ginger shines as an underplanting beneath trees, in woodland borders, or along shaded walkways. Its striking leaves bring texture and elegance while providing one of the most effective natural weed barriers for low-light areas.
So, there you have it. 7 plants that don't just look good, but also make your garden easier to manage by naturally keeping weeds at bay. From the fragrant carpets of creeping thyme to the bold foliage of wild ginger, each of these choices offers its own unique style while saving you hours of pulling and digging. That's it for today's list. Which plant would you love to try in your garden? Or is there another plant you'd like me to feature next? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your ideas for our next video.